pride in pride.
Thank you. Please be seated. That was indeed a spirited version of the national anthem. Member of Parliament for St. James South, the Honourable Edmund Hinkson.
St. James North.
St. James North? Sorry. Who am I pegging you with? All right. You see, she was at our last function. Yeah. Sorry. Board of Directors of the BEF, Mrs. Celeste Foster, our Executive Chairman, and Director, Mr. David Simpson. Managing Director of Scotiabank Barbados, Mrs. Suzette Amugam Shaw. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Thank you. Business Development Officer of the Barbados Trust Fund Limited, Ms. Jerika Durant. General Manager, Fund Access, Mrs. Esther Lord Graham. Marketing Manager of Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union, Ms. Valerie Hope. Member Relations Executive of City of Bridgetown Cooperative Credit Union, Mr. Craig Jones. Optimus Challenge Partners of the Community Challenge Ambassadors, Mr. Nathan Moore and Ms. Kyla Harris. Members of the media, specially invited guests, mentors and ambassadors, facilitators, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. This is indeed the BEF's first challenge that we are referring to as the Community Challenge launch. We are known, and we believe that we are very well known for our $20 challenge. And I know many of you know of the success that we would have reaped, if you will, from the $20 challenge. But what is also important is the fact that this challenge, we have quite a number of partners. We referred to organizations that worked with us over the 10 or 11 years of doing the $20 challenge as sponsors. But you know, when you become a partner, what happens? You come close, yeah? And the expectations are high on both sides. But we are delighted that we can say that we now have a number of partners who have seen the value in the $20 challenge and what it is doing and has done for a number of youngsters. And this challenge, we have slightly changed the age range. It's still for young people. So, Minister, you and I could still join. It is for young people, but not for students in the secondary schools. So, this afternoon, we want to launch this community challenge. And we have a number of speakers who will share perspectives about the launch and from their organizations. But it is important, before we go to our partners, that I invite our executive chairperson, Ms. Celeste Foster, and Mrs. Foster is also the project champion, not only of this project, but also of the $20 challenge. She works 24 hours, 390 days a year, and her expectations of her board are very realistic. She's actually, and David will hear me out on this, she calls at any hour, at any time, and what do you think about so and so and so? And she doesn't care if you're sleeping, or if you're eating, or if you're fetting. She wants your perspective, and she wants it now. But she is a great leader, and we appreciate that. And the BEF has grown phenomenally in the last 6 or so years because of Celeste's leadership. So I wish to invite to the podium our fearless leader, Mrs. Celeste Foster, to introduce the Community Challenge to you. Mrs. Foster.
Thank you, Dr. Kama. I will try to remember to be a better facilitator of private space. Honorable Edmund Hinkson, MP, directors of the BEF, partners, specially invited guests, members of the media, thank you for joining us as we launch the first edition of the Community Challenge, building a culture of enterprise by unlocking the talent, creativity, and innovation of our youth. An energetic conversation amongst friends back in 2009 was the catalyst for the birth of the Barbados Entrepreneurship Foundation. The friends, Keith Miller, Damian McKinney, and our first chairman, Mr. Peter Booz, invited a group of senior, experienced people, local and foreign, passionate about the Barbadian entrepreneurial spirit, to participate in this philanthropic social entrepreneurship endeavor, at the time a first of its kind. They were convinced, as we are today, that entrepreneurship is the key to unlocking the talent and energy embedded within us to drive economic growth and enfranchisement. Our early years were dedicated at creating infrastructure and building out our operational projects through 5 pillars: access to finance, government policy, business mentorship and networking, business facilitation, and education and talent development. Our first project, free Wi-Fi, saw our country transformed from little to no access in 2011 to being ranked 11th in the global survey released by Rotten Wi-Fi in 2015. This achievement is remarkable when we consider that in January 2011, access was at 4%. However, by the end of 2012, it had increased to just below 75%. Today, access is almost universal. Mission accomplished. In the ensuing years, the BEF has forged lasting partnerships with government, business support agencies, and the private sector to positively influence the entrepreneurial landscape. As we move our focus towards deepening direct community engagement, we are extremely pleased to acknowledge the support of perennial partners, Sagicor Cahill School of Business and Management, Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union, Sky Mall, Trident Entertainment, and of course, Scotiabank, who has been with us for almost a decade. The Community Challenge has its genesis in a few of our projects: Classroom to Boardroom, the $20 Challenge, and Project X. Business pitching and networking was a major feature of Project X, a community-based crowdfunding initiative for micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. Businesses pitch to the audience, then network to influence their vote at the end of the event. The team with the most votes won the pool of funds. The teamwork, collaboration, and presentation elements are drawn from Classroom to Boardroom, facilitated by Entrepreneurs in Action out of the UK, by Derek Brown, a former director of the BEF. 30 tertiary students who meet for the first time on day 1 of this 5-day assignment are challenged to resolve a complex business problem set by a senior executive. They elect leaders, set themselves into business teams, and get to work on a solution, which is presented to a panel of executives on the afternoon of day 5. Each team member is required to deliver some aspect of the assignment. Business readiness is the hallmark of our flagship $20 Challenge program, which seeks to inspire and excite students ages 13 to 18 about entrepreneurship. They experience real-life challenges as well as the excitement of starting and managing their own businesses. They learn to truly appreciate the intensity of running a business and the value of financial independence, along with an appreciation of giving back to society. In summer 2021, the Optimist Clubs of Barbados invited us to partner on a $20 challenge. This community challenge was inspired by that very alliance. Several of the partners who joined us then continue to work with us as we leverage our experience and expertise to feed the national MSME pipeline. The challenge has set out 5 program goals: to expose youth to a team-based experiential initiative which influences the uptake of entrepreneurship or micro-enterprise, to foster networking and cooperation between participants to grow their businesses, to encourage collaboration amongst business support agencies and financial institutions to improve access to finance, to successfully transition businesses to partners to facilitate continuous development, and finally, to facilitate the transition from idea to startup within the next 12 months. The community challenge will be delivered through 5 phases. You see, we have this number 5 going on all the time, right? The business training will be conducted via in-person sessions at the Capefield School of Business and Management, started July 18th and continues until August 11th. Fund Access and Trident 10 TV will host the Let's Talk Virtually Lunchtime webinar series from August 15th to September 10th. Stay tuned for more details. Seed capital funding is available via loan of $250, so we've gone from $20 to $250 in this instance. Each partner has agreed to waive the usual collateral requirements associated with the lending process. However, all other terms, including interest and scheduled payments, will be enforced. The budding business persons will gain valuable experience in the process of accessing finance. To the partners, thank you for creating the space in your processes to accommodate these young persons of the Community Challenge. The training period starts from the first day of training and ends on September 25th. The Barbados Trust Fund Limited will be coordinating marketplaces from July 31st to September 18th. So please come out and support the businesses when you see the adverts. We are in a competition, so we will be evaluating the businesses throughout the program, giving feedback at various times. The judging events will start with the business pitch on August 16th, followed by the mystery shopper at the pop-up market at Sky Mall on September 3rd. After they've been trading a while, teams will make their business presentations to a panel of judges on September 13th to receive feedback as they prepare for the written submission on September 25th. A prize of $250 will be awarded to the winners at each stage of the evaluation process. With the trading completed, businesses will get to celebrate their achievements at the graduation on October 22nd. Successful finalists would have repaid their loans, made a charitable donation, met the attendance requirements, and demonstrated sustainability in their business endeavors. Sector winners will be recognized and awarded prize packages worth $3,000. The Micro Enterprise of the Year will receive a prize package worth $10,000. In summary, the Community Challenge is designed to foster teamwork and collaboration between participants, to facilitate networking through business mentorship, to create synergies amongst partners, to equip budding entrepreneurs with the skills and attitude to chart their future to better navigate the entrepreneurial landscape, to facilitate the transition from idea to startup, business expansion for those already started in the next 12 months. This, our very first Community Challenge, is the foundation, the beginning steps, if you may, of the journey as we work with our partners and our community to strengthen our culture of enterprise in Barbados by unlocking the talent, creativity, and innovation towards influencing our youth to truly become craftsmen and women of their faith. I thank you.
Thank you, Celeste. I wish to invite at this time Nathan Moore, who's a challenge volunteer and ambassador, to give reflections on the Micro Enterprise of the Year 2021 champion, Vera Collections was his company's name. Mr. Moore?
Thank you. Oh, sorry. Thank you and good afternoon to everyone in attendance. As you may be asking yourselves, what is Vera Collections? It still amazes me that the business would have started right here in these exact walls, but we are a personal beauty company that provides aloe-based products. Due to the many properties of aloe plant, each product is guaranteed to embrace and enhance the true you. The business was formed by a group of 3 individuals, including Christy Anderson, Risa Jackman, and myself, Nathan Moore, all cousins. I will say that when Christy proposed the idea of participating in the challenge, we had no clue what we were getting into as a group. With Christy studying science at the Barbados Community College in hopes of maybe becoming a surgeon, Risa studying cosmetology at the Career Development Institute, and myself studying public sector management, whose life almost entirely revolves around sports. What were we really going to do together? Before the challenge even started, whispers would arise of how family and business might not even mix well together. So you could imagine the doubts going into the challenge we had. Thankfully, this program provided such encouragement, knowledge, and guidance. It was apparent that we could utilize each area of study and establish our roles within the business to operate as smoothly as possible. By the end of the challenge, hearing that the business was announced as winners, you could understand that our initial thoughts were about confusion and that this is almost a miracle. But we want to understand, we want each person in the community challenge to understand and recognize being wholehearted with your efforts, true dedication and application within this program. Each business has an opportunity to be successful. As a result, we were provided with the opportunity to essentially partner with Fund Access. We had no idea how impactful this opportunity would be for us. Fund Access truly is a blessing as they continue to dedicate time, resources, and efforts into assisting entrepreneurs. Each meeting, workshop, and just conversation truly is beneficial as the guidance and encouragement did not only stop within the challenge. We are grateful to partner with an organization that aims to assist small businesses in various ways, such as financing, information, guidance, and training, which we can attest to be very necessary. With the knowledge and success gained from just starting with $20, it was imperative that we look to share with others. We really are looking to make others aware of what being creative with your business ideas can do. In the time of COVID-19 pandemic, jobs being limited, we want to help others understand that there is a very successful pathway in entrepreneurship that they can take. Supporting other upcoming businessmen and women in their journeys are reasons for us to come and just share and give back to the community we look to ourselves to strive in. We are acknowledging that we all can succeed and support each other. As mentioned earlier, we are the group of 3 cousins, but that was not the only common thing we came into the challenge with. As I stand here to represent us, I will admit that I could have never seen myself speaking to all of you right now. And that goes for all of us, all 3 of us, as we are very shy and quiet. But this is just another testament to this program, as we all benefited with intangibles such as confidence. This program has impacted us in such a way we are ever more grateful. and appreciative for the support and relationships formed, which also included other participants. Even though it was a challenge, the camaraderie present allowed everyone to be successful in their individual business and truly enjoy the time spent. We therefore want to encourage everyone participating in the current community challenge to give of their best, enjoy your time, and use the opportunity to network. And once again, we give thanks to the organizers and stakeholders of this program for assisting us. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. We're certainly proud. Very proud of you and your colleagues and that cohort of students. You did exceptionally well. Thank you. At this juncture, we're going to invite our partners to deliver brief remarks. And we have 5 partners who are going to speak. So I'm going to cluster you in 3 groups. 2 and 2 and 1. David, I know that it doesn't mean that it adds up, but yeah, okay. I'm not finance, right? 2 and 2 and 1. So the first 2 would be fund access. Mrs. Esther Lord Graham, who's the general manager. And the second person would be the BWU Credit Union, Ms. Valerie Hope, the marketing manager. So I invite first Ms. Lord Graham and then Ms. Hope to take the floor.
Hi, good evening. I want to start out by thanking Nathan for those words. It really pleases me to know that our involvement is reaching and still impacting on persons. Ms. Honorable Edmund Hinkson, Member of Parliament for St. George North, Board of Directors of the Barbados Entrepreneurship Foundation, Mrs. Suzette Amargusha, Managing Director, Scotiabank, Ms. Jericia Durant, Barbados Trust Fund Limited, Miss Valerie Hope, of Barbados Workers Union, Mr. Craig Jones, City of Bridgetown Credit Union, Mr. Nathan Moore, Kyla Paris, members of the media, especially invited guests, members and ambassadors, and everyone else. Fund Access is once again pleased to be associated with the BEF and the other partners in this Community Summer Challenge, which should result in a new crop of young entrepreneurs in Barbados. Having already disbursed loans totaling $72 million since our inception to all categories of clients in Barbados, we continue to live up to our slogan, empowering entrepreneurs. Over the past few months, in addition to meeting with clients and rescheduling loan payments to those impacted by COVID-19, we have been working to further diversify our loan products and will be shortly launching 2 new products to further satisfy the needs of the MSME sector in Barbados. And we stand ready to continue our assistance, especially to the youth in Barbados. Indeed, Fund Access will welcome the opportunity to expand our youth participation, since our current portfolio only averages about 6% in this age group, 18 to 25. So we believe that this initiative is important because despite naysayers, it must be said that young people can contribute to creating a sustainable environment and be a reckoning force for change, especially in a world, and Barbados is no exception, where social issues like crime and environmental issues like climate change are becoming more problematic day by day. You will also be aware that in an unstable economy, unemployment among the youth is sometimes higher than any other group. And as such, it will be up to the youth to create such prospects for themselves. In this regard, I assure you that in addition to our Business Boost loan product, which targets first-time business owners, Fund Access will readily implement a special loan package for youth to assist them in this journey. So I implore the participants to grasp the opportunities which will be presented to you by the partners and Fund Access with both hands and engaging minds. FinAccess will present a webinar series to assist the participants. And Celeste said earlier, further details to become, so let me give you a few more of those details. The first three will be getting business ready. And this will focus on the statutory requirements of CAIPO, that is the Corporate Affairs and Intellectual Property Office, the statutory requirements of the National Insurance Department, the statutory requirements of the Barbados Revenue Authority. We then go on to legal agreements, partnership and team building, technology for business, mental well-being for MSMEs, dressing for success, and insurance for MSMEs. The webinar series will therefore cover aspects of the business from registration and the statutory requirements and insurance of your assets to your mental well-being, and finally, how you present yourself to the public. These are all important topics which will aid any business owner, ensuring that they start off with a good business structure and that they're up to the mental challenges of being their own boss. In closing, I would like to commend the BEF for yet another youth entrepreneurship program and urge the participants to create a culture of excellence and continue with this path, even if you experience challenges and make mistakes, since these are proof that you have tried. And as one writer puts it, if mistakes have the power to turn you into something better than before. Thank you.
With protocol having been so well established, good evening, everyone. As the representative of the BWU Cooperative Credit Union, I'm pleased that our institution has been given the opportunity to partner with the Barbados Entrepreneurship Foundation and with the other sponsors represented here today on the New Community Summer Challenge. As a small island state, one thing that remains clear is that our development hinges on increased economic diversification. Results from more developed nations prove that successful entrepreneurship has been a key driving force for increased diversity and growth in local economies. Entrepreneurship, as you've heard, encourages innovation, creates employment, and cultivates new and varied enterprises. According to the United Nations, this generation of youth is the largest in history. And as you've heard, youth make up a large portion of unemployment statistics, as unfortunately, oftentimes there are limited opportunities available to new entrants in the workforce. Youth entrepreneurship therefore gives our upcoming generations more control over their ability to launch impactful, long-standing careers, generate a decent income, and make a positive contribution to society. As a leading member-owned institution, the BWU Credit Union is honored to help nurture a stronger entrepreneurship ecosystem. Young people are full of ideas and are agents of change. They just need a hand to cultivate their skills and structure their dreams for success. At our credit union, we recognize that access to financing is one of the major challenges for startup businesses, particularly those led by younger individuals. We are strengthening our capacity to help all our members provide the required documentation and details to enhance their chances of qualifying for available business loans. We're also working to provide them with greater access to ongoing business support services. Additionally, our credit union remains focused on the overall delivery of youth-friendly financial services. We have established a marketing and youth committee led and made up of our younger members and staff. Their goal is to help us revamp existing as well as introduce new products and services which can benefit our youth as well as our wider membership. Living in a nation continuously threatened by the effects of climate change, we have determined that our credit union has a responsibility to promote and support sustainable practices and initiatives. As such, we have been particularly focused on providing affordable financing with our Green Plus suite of loan products. We're also pursuing mutually beneficial partnerships, such as the one we've recently formed with the Barbados Sustainable Energy Cooperative Society Limited, which can accelerate our efforts to support more sustainable lifestyles in Barbados. Young people have been at the forefront of the fight for greater climate action. We hope that with our help, the next generation of entrepreneurs, including those participating in this year's Community Summer Challenge, will be better positioned to create successful enterprises which offer viable solutions to sustainable development challenges. We also encourage all our young entrepreneurs to consider how they can implement sustainability strategies into their planned business ventures. As I close, I also want to promote the concept of cooperative entrepreneurship to our challengers and to other local entrepreneurs. The cooperative spirit is a key philosophy of the credit union movement. We aspire to see people taking ownership and have seen firsthand the benefit that working collaboratively with others has delivered. The 2021 Co-op Economy Report 2021 reveals that co-op businesses have been more resilient to the economic devastation caused by the pandemic, and the co-op economy continues to grow. According to the World Cooperative Monitor, in 2020, the largest 300 cooperatives and mutuals reported a total turnover of approximately $2.2 billion US. There is tremendous opportunity for local entrepreneurs to form cooperatives, which will allow them to work closer together to resolve shared challenges, learn from each other, as well as to pool their talents, abilities, and resources for greater universal success. With that said, on behalf of the BW Credit Union, we wish every challenger in this summer's Community Challenge every success. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mrs. Graham and Ms. Hope. And now my second cluster, I invite Ms. Jerika Durant, the Business Development Officer from the Barbados Trust Fund, and Mr. Craig Jones, Member Relations Executive from the COB Credit Union. Lady, and then gentleman.
Good evening, all. I will be brief, as Celeste said. It is our pleasure to be working yet again with the BEF on yet another challenge. We would have previously partnered with them on the $20 challenge, providing them being a part of the judging panel. We would have then worked with them on the Mr. Executive Challenge with the St. Leonard's Boys School, where we offer being a part of the judging as well and providing various market opportunities for them. One would be the Sky Mall pop-ups, where we got the opportunity to see the boys in work, selling their products and their services, and actually seeing the project come to life, as well as the fair, the community fair, where they were also given the opportunity to showcase their product. And I must say, every client that attended that event walked away making sales and, gaining business exposure. We will now be partnering with the Community Challenge, which we are very excited to be a part of. Yet again, we will be on the judging panel. We will also be providing the entrepreneurs with various opportunities, market opportunities yet again, such as the Holders Farmers Market. If you guys ever attended, it's one of the most amazing pop-up markets to be a part of on Sundays at Holders Hill. And we will also be providing them with the opportunity to take place at the CBC Soca Line event as well. Not only will we be providing those two elements, but we will also be being a part of the lending process. So we will also be helping the entrepreneurs, walking them through the process of loans and the reality of taking out a loan and being independent and taking on responsibilities. And lastly, we will say that this project will also open doors to work with many support organizations and agencies, as well as to share all the stuff that the Barbados Trust Fund Limited has been doing and all the services that we do offer. And lastly, to vet and bring on ready entrepreneurs to the portfolio. And we are excited to see what the young people are up to, what new projects they have in store, and how creative they can get. And yet again, Celeste, thank you, and thank you all.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is often good when others establish protocol before you and do it so eloquently so that I don't have to do it. But thanks once again. The City of Bridgetown Cooperative Credit Union Limited is extremely delighted to partner with the BEF in yet another initiative that specifically targets young persons. Our credit union is very passionate about young people, and we have a stellar track record of supporting young ones through our COB Cares program, a program that got its start in about 2004. Just this year at our annual conference where we reward academic scholarships and other areas of outstanding performance, we were pleased that we had 83 persons who received a total of $113,500 in scholarships. Since we started that program, we've seen 1,309 members of our CURES program benefit from scholarships totaling $1,521,064. So we really do value our young ones as they come through our program. Our CURES program doesn't only target the area of academic excellence. We understand that many young ones are also very, very good in the areas of the performing arts, academics, areas of film and industry, and of course, that program also caters to those who may be differently able, because we understand the value of young people in our society. Over the years, however, though, we have seen that the areas of interest in terms of career of our younger membership, it has shifted. Now we do recognize that the traditional career choices, those that many of us here would have chosen, that's not necessarily their area of focus. Many of them are interested in new areas of business that present new revenue streams. At COB, we understand that arts and culture is now a burgeoning area and is pregnant with possibilities. We recognize that creatives can be found in practically anywhere. There's the culinary arts, the visual arts, the film industry, music, dance, photography. And because we do understand that, our CARES program continues to go through different evolutions as we try to recognize what young people are doing. The question is, though, how do we truly support this change? That's inevitable. Well, we at COB understand the significance that the financial impact that the creatives and the creative industry plays on our economy. And we are seeing that right now at this time of the year. We also do understand that with new and emerging technologies, cultural practitioners and the arts, they're now vital to a vibrant and a sustainable economy. Some years ago, the chair of the Arts Council of England, Sir Peter Balzaget, he made a statement, and I'd like to share it with you. Life without the collective resources of our libraries, museums, art galleries, and theaters, without the personal expression of literature, music, and art, would be static or sterile. No creative arguments about the past, no diverse and stimulating present, and no dreams for the future. We at COB share a similar sentiment when we consider that area of our membership and our society. It's our firm belief that this is an area that cannot and should not be ignored, and we will always support our creatives and the creative industry. Without making myself seem really, really old, I'll tell you a little thing about perhaps my favorite band of all time. It's ABBA, so you know I'm not 15 or 20. But interestingly, ABBA had a reunion tour this year called Voyager in the UK, and it was sold out. Now, why am I telling you about ABBA? Because all 4 members of that band stayed in Sweden and performed to sold-out concerts halls in the UK. It was done virtually using technology. They created 4 avatars, and they performed in front of an audience. Now, why do we mention that? Because the pace at which technology is changing and the impact that it has on our lives requires modified thinking and business solutions. And so at COB, we understand that this rapid technological growth must be supported by innovative financial planning, advice, and lending techniques that are curated for our new environment. Without that, we won't survive. We'll not be able to support these young entrepreneurs. It is that understanding that underpins our support for the BEF challenge, because we're confident that over the next week, All of those who are in this program will benefit from mentorship, workshops, and field work that will help them not only to understand what's required, but dispel the myth that it's impossible to get finance as an entrepreneur or a startup. Our experience and research shows that it's not a poor product, it's not an unattractive idea, or it's not that an idea or a venture is new that impairs receiving finance. Rather, it's a lack of understanding of what's required to make a dream viable to a financial institution. How to make what is your passion, what is your goal, how to make it relatable and understandable to someone who may not share the same passion. Simply put, understanding the art of business. And that's what this challenge will do. So our partnership with the BEF reflects our desire to bridge this gap of understanding and ensure that each participant understands how to turn their dream into a successful and sustainable enterprise. So we're determined to support any enterprise, any initiative that creates a climate where young people, entrepreneurs, can see their goals, their dreams come to reality, not just locally, not just regionally, but internationally. So on behalf of our board, our management, our staff, the COB Credit Union extends the best wishes possible to all the participants. You're having an opportunity that many of us never had, we wish we had, and so we will give you our full support. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you to Ms. Durant and Mr. Jones. Thank you. And at this juncture, I wish to invite the Managing Director of Scotiabank Barbados. And I also wish to welcome you to Barbados, even though you said that you've been here a year already. But as you put it, it was a year when there was the ash, which most of us, or all of us, had never experienced before. It was a mind-boggling experience, but nonetheless, it helps us to develop a bit more empathy and understanding for what the Vincentians go through on a fairly regular basis. It was COVID, yes. It was a hurricane, as you indicated, and many other things. So now that we are a little open, we welcome you to Barbados, and we wish that you would enjoy some of our cultural aspects in the next couple days if you haven't done so previously. But this is a good time to really get to know Barbados. Anyhow, wear your mask. So I wish to invite Mrs. Suzette Armugan-Shore from Scotiabank Barbados as one of our partners in our $20 challenge to please deliver your remarks.
Thank you. Yes, that was my welcome into Barbados last year. I don't know if I brought all of that with when I was coming, but so yes, hopefully I'll get to enjoy the good things to come. So thank you, the Honorable Edmund Hingston, Member of Parliament, St. James North, Celeste Foster, Executive Chairman of BEF, and other members of the BEF family, fellow partners of the Community Summer Challenge, ambassadors, special invited guests, and members of the media. So good afternoon, everyone. It was a real pleasure for me to be here with you today as we launched the 2022 edition of Barbados Entrepreneur Foundation Community Summer Challenge. Scotiabank has been a supporter of the BEF for numerous years through our sponsorship of the $20 challenge. I must commend the BEF for the fantastic work they continue to do, in particular over the last 2 years as we faced the pandemic and the challenges that it brought with it. It was during this time that the BEF successfully piloted an expanded version of the challenge to include young adults aged 18 to 25. And we are happy that we have been a part of the foundation of that innovative program and did not hesitate to support when the request came for the 2022 edition. As a matter of fact, last year's pilot program has given the birth of ambassadors and mentors for this year's edition. including Amber Hunt, who is also presently doing an internship with us here at Scotiabank. Yeah. So I'm still considered new to Barbados, yes. Haven't taken up this role as managing director 1 year ago. But I must say that I'm very proud of the great impact that we've been able to achieve through our collaboration with the BEF, helping to shape the lives of so many young people across the country. And as an organization, we believe our success is inherently tied to the success of the communities in which we operate. We are guided by our purpose, which is forever, every future, and we are committed to making an impact and investing in a better future for everyone. In furthering this commitment, we support initiatives designed to promote economic resilience. Resilience is the ability of individuals, households, and communities and economies to remain strong under a range of circumstances. And you heard the three that we listed, and now we have a global economic crisis upon our hands. So, throughout the pandemic, though, we have experienced unpredictability and change, which had great impact on the future of our young people. So by supporting programs and partnering with organizations that help improve education and employment prospects, people are enabled to participate in the economy more, better adapt to changing circumstances, and increase their likelihood of financial success. The Community Summer Challenge aims to do exactly that: develop and enhance the entrepreneurial skills of young people so they can lead fulfilling lives. Of course, they also learn the importance of social and life skills that are of benefit to them, helping prepare them for careers in entrepreneurship. Furthermore, some individuals and groups face greater challenges than others. Research shows that disadvantaged groups experience barrier to workplace entry and career advancement, such as disparity in the workplace for inclusion, participation, and leadership. At Scotiabank, we are deeply committed to promoting diversity and inclusion. This was the catalyst for our recommendation to the BEF that the challenge also broaden its scope. And for the first time, there will be participation by persons with disabilities and other minority groups. We want to help ensure that everyone has the opportunity to get on, stay on, or rise up the economic ladder and prepare for every future. Also included in the Community Summer Challenge is this year is a charitable component where businesses are encouraged to give back to the community, whether it be in the form of cash, a percentage of their profits, or in kind, where participants donate gifts or volunteer their time to work with a charity of their choice. This aspect is actually something Scotiabank introduced to the BEF in the $20 challenge, and we are pleased that it is being incorporated into the Community Summer Challenge so that these young entrepreneurs appreciate the importance of making a bigger impact on the lives of others. I would like to take this opportunity to encourage our young people to take advantage of this great program. Registration closes on Friday, and there are a few places remaining, so please reach out to the BEF if you are interested. And to our participants who have already been on board, I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this initiative. You each want to achieve success in business, and with this program, you will receive a great launching pad for the future of your business. Thank you for having me here this afternoon, and look forward to another exciting program.
Thank you, Mrs. Armugan Shaw. I heard all of our partners, all 5 of our partners, pledge and commit their organizations and some resources to the success of this program. Not necessarily financial resources, in some instances, yes, but for the most part, commitment, dedication, manpower, coaching, and counseling, which are all rare elements. And so, for the young persons participating in this program, like many of the BEF's program, it is a valuable opportunity to grab as much as you can, to build as many alliances as you possibly can, and to become members where possible. Yes, selling some services, but yes, yeah. Become members where you can of some of these organizations, because it's about helping our country to grow and helping our region to grow. And so I wish to thank our partners for your commitment, contribution, dedication, and support. And at this juncture, we are going to have reflections of 2021 Optimist Challenge, Spirit of the Challenge program. Kyla Paris, who's an ambassador, owner of Azalea by Zyla Rose, and a partner, Pamper Me Please. Yes, please. Welcome.
Good afternoon to everyone. I am a young 20-year-old entrepreneur, the owner of Azala by Kyla Rose, which is a skincare business created to help improve and maintain the great quality of your skin. Also a third-year student at the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus, majoring in accounting and finance. Being a part of one of the teams in the BEF $20 challenge from last year, this was through the Optimist Club, as I am a member. The team consisted of Jade Amor Grant, owner of Novena Flair, and myself. And together we made Pamper Me Please. We won a prize for our collaboration. Today, Azala by Kyla Rose is still going and growing. Coming into the competition, we needed to find something that we are both passionate about, and beauty came to mind. Over the years, I have suffered from eczema. With medications either not working or being expensive, mixing natural ingredients to improve my skin became a hobby that many of my friends also would tease that I should start a business. Jada Moore, who at the time had recently cut her hair, would do her own concoctions to speed up her hair growth. We brought this together as after much research, we realized these ventures went hand in hand. Adding supplements that benefited both skin and hair. Two different areas of beauty brought together as a one-stop shop. Our products being made from scratch by us from natural ingredients with our charitable donation going to a group close to our hearts was Christchurch Parish Church Youth Group, where we both came up in. As a business student, a lot of what I learned throughout this program even helped me at school. Coming here week after week, a lot of what was taught to us, I didn't even realize, wow, all of this goes into being your own boss. And then to sit in class and realize, wow, this was not just what people were coming out here and saying to us, but this is what they actually learned. And I am very, very grateful that I was able to start this venture. And I am here today, and I still have my business going. And yes, I have my ups and downs, but overall, I am very thankful. And to all those who are a part of the challenge this year, just keep at it, even though sometimes you come into challenges, just move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyla. And we're happy to hear that your business is still going, yes, while you study. Wonderful. At this juncture, I wish to invite Honorable Edmund G. Hinkson, MP for St. James North. The Honorable Edmund Hinkson is a practicing attorney at law in Barbados and was educated at Harrison College and Cayfield campus, and as well as the Hugh Woodin Law School. He received a master's in business law from the University of Ottawa. He's a former director of the Council for the Disabled, and he did that between 2014 and 2018, and at present he's a member of the Association of the Blind and Deaf. Edmund Hinkson, as many of us know, is nationally recognized as being one of the leading advocates and champions in the promotion of rights for persons with disabilities. Thank you, Mr. Hinkson. He's presently a life member of the Lions Club of Bridgetown, having served as the leader of the Lions Club in Barbados in 2009 and 2010, and having been honored as the best president out of 67 Lions presidents in the Caribbean Sub-District 60B in 2005 to 2006. He currently serves as a member of the Advisory Board of Directors of the Salvation Army and is a member of the Council of the St. John Ambulance Association for Barbados. Or he was, sorry. Mr. Hinkson, who was previously a University of the West Indies law faculty part-time lecturer, has also served as a subcommittee chairman of the local Small Business Association and a member of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Barbados. Internationally, he's a member of the International Bar Association, as well as the Commonwealth Lawyers Association. He's a former chairman of the National Conservation Commission and the Severance Payments Tribunal. Mr. Hinkson, you are a busy man. He is a former deputy chairman of the National Housing Corporation and the Building Advisory Committee, as well as a former member of the First Consumer Claims Tribunal of the Income Tax Appeal Board and of the Board of Management of Harrison College, as well as a former director of the National Cultural Foundation. He was elected to the Barbados House of Assembly on the 21st of February 2013 general elections and retained his seat in the 24 May 2018 election with a subsequent appointment as a Minister of Home Affairs, a cabinet position which he held until July 2020. He was again elected to serve in the House of Assembly in the 19th January 2022 general elections. Mr. Hinkson is currently serving as Barbados's representative to the OACPU/EU Parliamentary Assembly. So, Mr. Hinkson, you will tell us what OACPU/EU is when you come to the podium. Welcome to the podium, Minister.
Good afternoon, everyone. Members of the head table and the directors of the Barbados Entrepreneurship Foundation, participants in the program, members of the media, invited guests. It's great to be here, and I thank the foundation for inviting me to speak and give my thoughts. The person who would have composed music to the national anthem version we heard, I'm sure that if there was a competition for a new musical national anthem, would be in the lineup for it. And Celeste, we heard about you, and I identified because people accuse me as well of calling them up all kind of hours with issues relating to some of the organizations I've served on. But first, I wish to commend the organizers of this challenge program for young people and the age cohort that you're doing it for, 18 to 25. That's a major age group that we have to assist in this country. It is a noble national initiative you're embarking on to develop the concept of entrepreneurship and cultural enterprise among our young people. I, in fact, remember the first time that I would have heard about the $20 program. It was probably about 7 years ago at a party in my constituency, and Peter Booz was there, Keith Miller was there, and they explained it to me, how it was helping young people, and I really was in awe at the initiative of the foundation in so doing, and the willingness of people who have succeeded in their own businesses to give back and put some of their experience and expertise to the benefit of our nation. Because our youth are seriously in need of support in terms of training opportunities and technical assistance, and not the least important, yes, small credits to assist with the startup process of their businesses and to reduce the failure rate of youth enterprise. And therefore it is very pleasing today to see here at this launch some members of financial institutions, both the traditional bank and the local credit union enterprise. And I really commend your organizations for partnering with the Barbados Entrepreneurship Foundation in this venture. The importance of mentoring and tutoring and of networking have all been emphasized here today in terms of building capacity and institutional strengthening of a business in entrepreneurship. And of course, your lunchtime lecture programs, which you are proposing, will also cover that area, I'm sure, in terms of mentoring and tutoring those who participate in this summer program. Our educational system in Barbados has not always catered in any form or fashion to developing problem-solving skills among our students, critical thinking in terms of planning ability in a lot of cases, bringing out your creative skills, conflict resolution, ability to take risks. That is a fact that while we may have been good at dispersing academic subjects and discourse, some of the soft skills that I've heard that this program would be offering have not been meted out to our children. And in that sense, our educational system has failed us within the last 30 years. That's a fact. Whether we as Barbadians, who have prided ourselves in being on top or at the top of the educational system in the Caribbean, want to believe that or not. At the present time, yes, our educational system is being proposed for reform. As we know, there's an educational committee out of the Ministry of Education that is looking at educational reform. I believe they've submitted their proposals for reform to the Minister of Education. I believe it was said last week that it may be in the Prime Minister's hands looking at before then going to Cabinet. But I think we all look forward, certainly I do, to the proposals for reform, not only of the common entrance examination, which, yes, is badly in need of abolition, but of other areas to give our young people experience in the world of adulthood in terms of life skills. So this is key, not only in terms of the soft skills, but in terms, yes, of foreign languages and informatics. And all of this we need. Sound business planning among students. Yes, we need to teach more entrepreneurship programs within our school systems, I think starting from primary school. When I was in an opposition MP in my first term in Parliament, I was Shadow Minister for Education. I remember when I said that entrepreneurship should be taught in primary schools to children from about age 6. The then Minister of Education laughed and made a joke and said children that age should be running about pitching marbles and not talking about entrepreneurship. A policy failure of our previous governments, because this is where you learn and this is where you start. And we need to do this. You know, and the naysayers who would tell us that people of our color, black people, are failures in business, I dispense that notion tremendously, because from slavery times, our ancestors were entrepreneurs, were hawkers, etc. That is why the slave owners and the colonial system brought into the parliament laws prohibiting trading and hawking and hustling and enterprise. From 1695, as we know, there were slave laws, and the Parliament of Barbados, I think it was, late 2020, we then removed the last fetters of those laws, which sought to criminalize trading in Bridgetown and on the streets in Bridgetown. So it's not at all that we as black people, as Barbadians, have been failures at business. Obstacles have been put in our way. And we can be among the best in terms of entrepreneurs and youth entrepreneurs in the world, if given the opportunity. But it takes hard work. It takes sacrifice. In other words, when you make $1,000, it doesn't mean that there's $1,000 profit, you know, to go and spend now buying some clothes and long hair and false eyelashes and go into all the fets at crop over, you know, because that $1,000, a lot of it has to be plowed back into the business. It is not all profit. The expenses to look at, and I'm sure that this program will speak towards those kind of issues, as I said, sound business practices and marketing strategies, and ability to plan the administration, and communication skills, of course, is a large part of it, and obviously the networking that will be imparted to the participants will help in that regard too. As I said, even if failure meets the young entrepreneurs at some stage, don't be deterred. Some of the leading business persons in the world, people who created their own business enterprises, failed at first. The business that they eventually made into billion-dollar enterprises were not their first businesses. And we know the names, no need for me to call them. But the finest steel needs to go through the hottest fire to be able to succeed and to become the finest steel. And I can only urge those who will take part in this program to have the determination, the resolution, not to be deterred by those who will tell you you shouldn't be doing this. Go and study medicine or law or some traditional form of career. Entrepreneurship is the way to go. It reduces, of course, unemployment among our people, and it creates businesses. And of course, business is the engineering tool, social engineering tool, which drives the economy of any country that is on a sound footing. I would perhaps wish to urge the board of directors of the Entrepreneurship Foundation that you may be coming to the stage where you can be looking at seeking international funding for support for your programs. I know you have among your board of directors and of course maybe past directors to the expertise to prepare the necessary plans and strategies that you can go to an international development bank, for instance, for funding. I believe the IADB has funded similar programs of entrepreneurship in Latin American countries. And I'm sure that they may be open, IADB or other development organizations of which Barbados is a part, to fund the type of noble and altruistic programs that the foundation has in mind. The issue of the difficulty facing small businesses in gaining access to appropriate and adequate financing is of course key. And you know, young entrepreneurs without a credit history, backing and experience sometimes find difficulty, many times in our Barbados, in sourcing finance. And as I said, I'm glad to see partners here within the financial institutions to assist in this regard, but such reality has prompted an intervention by the government of Barbados to have a trust fund facility. Of course, in addition to the fund access that we've had for many years, we've created in late 2008, in our first term of office, the trust loan facility under the Ministry of Small Business and Entrepreneurship, by whatever name it has been called since we came into office, to which lends up to $5,000 for persons, both of whatever age, to get into their business, either to start it or to continue it, to enhance it and strengthen it. And I urge also those who wish to become entrepreneurs who haven't yet applied for a trust loan from the government to bear that in mind in doing it. Of course, yes, it has to be repaid. That is key. The interest rate is lower than the marketplace interest rate. You don't need the sureties. You don't have to carry your grandmother title deeds for the trust facility to hold as surety for your repayment. But it is a case where government is trusting the people of Barbados to repay and to do well in it. Of course, yes, you have to comply with the statutory requirements, which we've heard of today. Those who participate in this program will also be tutored in doing. You have to register a business. And this is on top, of course, the Youth Entrepreneur Scheme, which we have had for a number of years in government to assist not only with financial support, but technical support and financial literacy as well. Young entrepreneurs who wish to get into this form of business and work for themselves rather than work for somebody else. Because let's face fact, there are too many people in Barbados who wish to rely on the government of Barbados or a politician to get them a job. It can't work. A government of Barbados cannot employ all the people who are there, and neither do my fellow members of parliament, nor me, carry jobs in our pocket. So when, you know, virtually every other day a constituent or somebody calls me, Mr. Dixon, I want a job, I mean, I would have loved that I had a major multi-billion-dollar enterprise and could hire everybody in my constituency who wanted to be hired, but I can't. So this initiative that the foundation is doing is great, and I must say those who are associated with the University of the West Indies, and as you heard, I'm a very proud graduate of this university. In fact, I think, 40 years ago is when I graduated from here. And Dr. Koma, I know you're associated with the university, but I think perhaps one of the deficiencies in this university's education, and what I would be one of the first to praise this university, and I know it is among the top 5%, I believe, globally, in terms of its educational output, but we have to improve on a system where even those who graduate with management degrees are still looking to government in many cases for a job. I believe that if you graduate with a management degree, you should have, or you do have, the capacity to start your own business, to be an entrepreneur. The question may lie if you don't want to take the risk, because a lot of Barbadians are risk adverse. But as I said, if we have the support systems, both through organizations like the foundation, other NGOs, and the Optimist Club, glad to hear about that. And well, you would have heard I'm a lifetime member of the Lions Club. And a whole of Barbados approach coming together, we can succeed in making Barbados more an entrepreneurial capital, where people do not have to look towards a government or a politician for their economic and employment sustenance. Because after all, we have given free education from age 4 right through to even master's degrees, in many cases, free health care. And there must come a time when people look to themselves with, as I said, the support of the institutions around us to, sustain themselves as adults. I am particularly happy about the access of persons with disabilities to this program and to other enterprises and initiatives that the foundation will embark on. And this is extremely important. We all know that people with disabilities are among the most vulnerable people in this Barbados, not only in this Barbados, but worldwide. We have a situation where, certainly in the last census of 2010, it was said that 90% of adult persons with disabilities, in other words, those within the working age, were unemployed. This is something that we can no longer accept as a country, because in a lot of cases, people with disabilities are more capable than quote-unquote normal people to produce. Because a person with disability, let's say a person with an immobility, wheelchair bound, brain not affected, brain still very good, I can guarantee you that they're going to produce more on a daily basis than the quote-unquote normal person, because that person is going to be more grateful that they've been given an opportunity for a job. So they're not going to be on Facebook searching and gossiping and maliciousing and looking to see what clothes they could buy from Amazon and who do what last night. They're producing a full day's work for a full day's pay, and they need to be given the opportunity to work in this country. And in a lot of cases, it may be self-employment, and we therefore need to assist in that regard. I'm now chairing a committee, National Advisory Committee, on improving the lives of people with disabilities, that has been mandated to, by the Independence Day this year, give to government proposals for national policy on persons with disabilities, because we haven't had such a policy for 20 years, and to come up with draft disabilities legislation, because again, we're behind on this. 4 or 5 CARICOM countries have disability legislation. We don't. And we, of course, as I said, pride ourselves on being leaders in terms of social reform. But we're lacking with this. And after all, Mahatma Gandhi said that you have to measure a country by how it treats its most vulnerable. So this is of prime importance now to the government of Barbados to improve and uplift the lives of people with disabilities. If it means some kind of forms of affirmative action principles, it would have to be done. But so I commend the foundation again for leaving some reserve spaces for persons with disabilities in this program. I know that the foundation also has an agricultural opportunity aspect of it, again, very important. We know that food security is now of primary significance to us as people who import, what, $800 million in food every year. Traditionally, that can't continue. And I suppose the ongoing war in Ukraine has also brought to our realization that we have to seek greater food security at national level, and therefore, again, your arm in terms of agricultural opportunity and entrepreneurship is extremely important. And finally, in terms of volunteering and giving back, and you've heard mention earlier from more than one of the speakers about the giving back to your community. This is very important because someone who just looks at themselves and their own progress without seeing what they could do to uplift their communities and their fellow people, their fellow Barbadians, really and truly is not leading a wholesome life. And too many of us probably ask, what can our country do for me, rather than asking, what can I do for my country? And that mantra or concept will be a key to our future development and our desire to become a more developed country, because government or politicians can't do it alone. It needs an all-country approach. And therefore, I'm very happy to come and commend the Barbados Entrepreneurship Foundation in what it is embarking on and continuing to embark on, and to wish the participants in this program the best and full success. I'm obliged to you.
Thank you, Mr. Hinkson. At this juncture, we have about 5 minutes for Q&A. So if there are any members of the press or anyone in the audience wishes to pose any questions to any of our panelists, please do so now. Thank you. Okay, I hear very loudly. No one wants to ask questions. It's all very clear. All right, so at this juncture, I take great pleasure in inviting my fellow board member, Mr. David Simpson, to please move the vote of thanks and to close this afternoon's presentations. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Madam Master of Ceremonies. Last year, Celeste changed the name of this last session because with all of her power and influence that Janine spoke of, she couldn't get me to stick to a vote of thanks, so she changed it to closing remarks. Anyway, today, I promise you, Celeste, I have very little to say, because listening to all of the speakers that have come before me this afternoon, I am quite pleased and quite overjoyed and quite satisfied that all that needs to be said has been said. I am tremendously proud to sit and listen to Kyla and Nathan speak about their experiences. Putting on another hat quickly, I am extremely proud to hear the endorsement for fund access, which I am privileged to be the chairman of that board of directors. And I believe, Esther, I will suggest that we need to get that endorsement in the public domain, and you know why. Oh, for sure. I mean, they are both very, very articulate, and again, Nathan spoke to a point that we've raised at the end of each of these cohorts of this challenge or any other that we've done in the past. Participants have always said how the challenge has helped them with their softer skills and their ability to communicate. And words can't explain how pleased I am to see the success, to hear their businesses as well. So I will thank everyone, and then because there's nothing else for me to say, I had spare time to think and reflect on the comments of our executive chairman, and I will make one closing statement once I've thanked everyone where that is concerned. So first and foremost, Honorable Edmund Hinkson, I sincerely want to thank you for being here with us this evening. As I read your profile, I was wondering why no part in the profile spoke to your commitment and your vision in terms of education and so on, because I know you and I have had several of those conversations in the past, but you brought it out in your comments, and I thank you for that, because education, first and foremost, is the foundation of a lot of what we do at the BEF. To Scotiabank, you have stood by the BEF for, what, 9 years, almost a decade now, without question. And I want to thank you once again for that. I also want to go a step further and let the audience understand that the reference to the inclusion of those with disabilities and other minority groups was almost a condition or criteria for the support. And I say that so that all of us will understand that even in our respective businesses and our other dealings, that we need to seriously consider how we cater to the minorities in our communities, regardless of what that description is. So we are sincerely thankful to Scotiabank once again. We know that Scotiabank is committed to community and to young people, and as I spoke with the managing director before we start, she reminded me of their recent commitment to the Junior Monarch program and the finals that were held just on the weekend. To our partners, which it is no coincidence, I believe, that they are all involved in finance and mentorship and supporting the development of small business. To the Barbados Trust Fund Limited, to the entire team, Ms. Durant, thank you for being here to represent the team, but of course, thanks to your GM, Jerry Amos, Mr. Kurt Doughton, and the entire team who has, and of course, Nisha, who has played a significant role in supporting us over the last year to 18 months, I think it is. The Barbados Workers Union, Cooperative Credit Union, Valerie, thank you for being here and for your inspiring words in terms of the vision and the work that the credit union is doing. We are indeed happy to have you on board as well. We know that you have supported us in the past, financially and otherwise, in terms of other initiatives as well. City of Bridgetown Credit Union, Craig, thank you. You have been, again, supportive and giving ideas and involved in this challenge and others in the past, and we continue to be grateful for your support and the entire team. I know Algie could not be here today, but of course, the support runs throughout the management and staff of the credit union. Our Last and by no means least, yes, I left Fund Access for last, so it would not appear biased, but Fund Access has come on board, and this is probably what, the third installment or third activity that Fund Access is supporting. And of course, our general manager is here, Mrs. Estelar Graham. Thank you for your comments, and of course, the rest of the team at Fund Access who have been a part of this process. To our Community Challenge ambassadors, those who were part of the Optimist Challenge, Nathan and Kyla, thank you for your inspiring words and for speaking to the success and the impact that these programs have had on your lives. Now, as everyone spoke, I went back to what Celeste was saying in her opening remarks, and Celeste mentioned 5 different pillars that the BEF focuses on. And to be very honest with you, until I sat listening to everyone this evening, I was of the opinion that we were so focused on Pillar 5, education and talent development, that we were not catering to the other 4. But listening to everyone speak and observing what we have planned for this challenge, through the education and talent development pillar, we've actually cleared the way and laid the foundation for addressing the other ones. Access to finance, by taking the young people through this program, they have access to finance, they have access to business mentorship and networking, and that's where the Fund Access's trust fund, the credit unions come in. So we've been able to satisfy those objectives as well. Business facilitation, the young people are coming with new and innovative ideas and means of doing and conducting business, and it is having an impact on the way we facilitate our customers, our vendors, and business at large. And the second one, government policy. Mr. Hinkson mentioned the need for education reform. We had, during the Mr. Executive Challenge with the Sylvanus Boys School, a similar endorsement from the Chief Education Officer. So I hope that the role of activities such as what we are involved in will make it all the way to the Prime Minister's ear and office and to the entire cabinet, and that when that reform happens, those gaps, as Mr. Hinkson referenced earlier, where some people were left out because we weren't catering to softer skills and those who are good with their hands, maybe not necessarily academically in the traditional way, that everyone will be incorporated. These programs we have run have allowed young people, regardless of their academic prowess, to function and function at a high level, and that is where we need to be. So those are my remarks. I am not going any further, Celeste. I am not going to detain anyone any further, except to just say thank you to everyone who is here. Thank you to the media for being present. Thank you for all of the other stakeholders, the supporters, the volunteers, everyone who continues to make each BEF challenge a success. And we are looking forward to big things in this summer challenge. And ultimately, we are simply continuing the work of planting seeds when it comes to entrepreneurship and developing micro and small business. So thank you all for being here. As you leave, there are some prepackaged grab-and-go refreshments for you. And again, we thank you all for coming out and supporting us this evening.